Hi, my name's A.Lippolis, and I have a project to do, so this is how it's gonna happen. Because I'm not gonna write another paper, and I don't know how to do a podcast, so vlog it is. You guys are welcome. So we're gonna make this a makeup video. My subject for my class is how xenia should be implemented, especially in the modern refugee crisis. First, when I was getting ready for this, I had to really figure out, well, what is the whole dealio with the refugee crisis and how America is handling it? Because I'm very young and I don't actually know a lot of things, especially politically. I Googled things. I found an article from the CFA, which is the Council of Foreign Relations, a U.S. nonprofit think tank specializing in U.S. foreign policy and international relations. Reputable source. And then, like any person who has spoken and any member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sacrament meetings, the first thing I did, besides finding a reputable source, was to define what I am studying. What is a refugee? Apparently there are many different titles of people that are coming into the United States. The word refugee is misused a lot. A refugee is a migrant who is able to demonstrate that they have been persecuted or have reason to fear persecution on the basis of one of 5 protected grounds: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in any particular social group. So how many people are there? Migration crisis, people immediately think, oh my gosh! But in reality, the number has actually gone down. So from the start of the program in 1980, there were 200,000 refugees. In 2018, there were around 22,500. That's a lot less. There are also limits set in place, so we don't stretch out our resources. So from 2001 to 2015, the cap was 70,000 to 8,000 per year, but both the Bush and the Obama administrations admit to actually letting in a lot less than that. In 2016, another cap was set in place by President Obama. President Obama increased an earlier approved cap of 80,000 to allow for an additional 5,000 refugees to address the migrant crisis caused by the conflict in Syria. Just a total of 85,000. This was a mistake. Something that's been in the news lately is how Trump has made some cuts to the refugee program. He actually cut a proposed plan of 110,000 maximum to just 50,000 for 2017. That's more than half. It actually is a problem. But in 2018, he decreased it again. 45,000 people could be let in maximum. 2019 has been decreased to 30,000 refugees. That is the lowest cap, the lowest maximum since the program even started. The Cold War, we let in more people. The Vietnam War, we let in more people. If people in the past could let more people in and they were a lot more racist, we need to step up. Another problem that people have with immigrants is, how do they get in? Like, they just think people just waltz right in. That is very much not true. That is absolutely not what happens in real life. And the process takes something from around 18 months to 2 years for someone to even be like maybe gonna get in, because they have to go through a lot of screenings, like going through an airport, but a bigger deal because you're actually gonna live here. They have biometric scanning, global fingerprint databases, medical tests up the wazoo. They research their criminal histories, past immigration violations, connections to terrorist groups even. If they have any diseases that would harm the public, then they're not allowed in. There's a lot of what-ifs going into migration. I look like a goddess. Aphrodite don't have anything on me. James Charles who? To address some concerns that some people have about whole resources being used for immigrants after the whole process happens and they are accepted, it's usually up to local charities and settlements where this is their job. So along with these charities and special organizations, the State Department actually has a branch called Reception and Placement Program that helps with rent, food, and clothing. So, all the necessities. Then 3 months later, it's federal government, baby, with the Federal Department of Health and Human Services. They help with employment trainings and medical assistance, language classes, less stuff that's like immediate problems that you need to survive. So another reason why the cuts to funding and letting people in, the reductions have caused office closings and layoffs. So another concern about refugees and immigration as a whole is the whole terrorist angle. I say angle very deliberately. Out of the more of 3 million refugees accepted by the U.S. over the past 4 decades, only a handful have been in terrorist plots. According to a study done by libertarian-leaning Cato Institute, in 2016, out of the 154 foreign-born terrorists that have committed attacks in the United States since 1975, only 20 were refugees. 20 of these attacks, only 3 proved deadly, and those 3 all took place before 1980, which was when the Refugee Act and its screening procedures were enacted. And something that should really be noted by everyone and has been noticed, most of the recent attacks have been U.S. citizens. Would you look at that? So some of you may be wondering, what on earth does this have to do with a Greek and Roman literature class? There's this concept in ancient Greek culture called xenia. With my method of going into treating this like a talk that I've been assigned for church, I will define xenia for you. Xenia is defined as the concept of Greek hospitality, the generosity and courtesy towards those who are far from home. In the ancient Greek story of Odysseus, he is lost at sea for years, and a couple times he came across some people who showed him xenia. One time when he was on a beach, he met this girl named Narcissa. She saw this poor beggar man who was probably disgusting. She actually said something quite profound. "Stranger, there is no quirk or evil in you that I see. You know Zeus metes out fortune to good and bad men as it pleases him. Hardship he has sent you, and you must bear it. But now you shall not lack for clothing or any comfort due to a poor man in distress." I bet now you see why I'm talking about the refugee crisis in my Greek and Roman literature class. I'm going to be real to you guys. Ancient Greece was not as great as Western culture makes it out to be. They still had slavery. They still killed each other all the time. They still had weird relations with their mothers and their fathers. I'm looking at you, Electra. But they still understood a lot of things that we could take notes on. We constantly tell children to treat others the way you want to be treated. But as adults, do we really apply this? Do we really think, how does this affect someone else? How can I help those around me? Those in ancient Greece, they were travelers. Having someone open their house and treat you like the man of the house, like you were somebody, having that assurance that someone would take care of you no matter where you were, no matter what you did, even if Zeus himself was after you, someone would take care of you. Someone would care. Refugees, they're running for a reason. So something we could do better as a society is be like Narcissa and see someone in need, whether it be a homeless person or a refugee, check to see if there's good or evil in people, then let them in. Because as Americans, we have the responsibility to uphold the legacy of America being the great melting pot. And by having such a strong immigration cut, we're not being the America that we say we are. We have to be like the Greeks. Practice xenia, truly make America great again. I need professional help. This was a mistake. I look like a mistake.
I got that in my eye.
Beauty gurus, I have overestimated how hard it actually is. How on earth do you guys do this? This is insane. Because I don't have concealer, I can't conceal any mistakes. Oh, I'm gonna love editing this later.